Chapter 1. Monday, 4:42 p.m. The sky looked bruised. Not stormy exactly, but overcast in that off-putting way that makes the air feel too quiet. As if the whole town was holding its breath. Jenna Hayes gripped the steering wheel tighter than she meant to. Her knuckles pale under the tension. She wasn't usually this jumpy driving home, but today had been strange. Not bad exactly. Just off. The kind of day where things didn't quite connect the way they should have. A missed call from her sister. A kid at school who wouldn't stop staring at her, wide-eyed and weirdly silent. A conversation with her fiancé that started normal and turned sharp without warning. It wasn't one thing. It was everything. The road curved gently around a line of gums, their silhouettes swaying just enough to make her check the rearview mirror. She was being ridiculous. Still, she couldn't shake it. The town of Dalmore had never been dangerous. Not really. It was small, the kind of place where everyone nodded at the grocery store even if they didn't know your name. People left their back doors unlocked. You knew who owned which dog by the sound of its bark. That sort of thing. So maybe that's what made the missing girl feel heavier. It had only been 2 days. And people go missing all the time, don't they? Runaways mostly. Some teenager blowing off steam, probably. At least that's what they were all saying. But Jenna knew better. Or maybe just feared worse. Because the girl, Ellie Reed, was one of hers. Not hers exactly, not in a personal way, but she'd taught her last term. Quiet kid, shy. Big eyes and always 2 steps behind everyone else. One of those students who didn't really stand out until they were gone. God, that made her stomach twist. Her phone buzzed in the passenger seat, screen lighting up with a message from Nate. She reached for it at the red light, hesitated, then picked it up anyway. Probably not safe, but she needed a distraction. Nate, where are you? Thought you'd be back by now. She started typing back. Just passing Ridgeview. Traffic was weird. Be there soon. Then deleted it. Rewrote, 10 minutes away. Everything okay? No reply. The light changed, and she tossed the phone back onto the seat, suddenly aware of how cold her hands had gotten. It wasn't cold outside. That didn't make sense. She flexed her fingers against the wheel. 10 minutes. She could make it 10 minutes without falling apart. Back at home, Nate was probably pacing the kitchen, trying not to be obvious about it. He hated when she was late. Said it made him feel like the world was waiting to shift out of balance. He had this idea that if he could just keep things tightly scheduled, nothing bad could get in. But life didn't work that way. Jenna had learned that the hard way. She pulled into the driveway just as the first drops of rain started to fall. Light like whispers on the windshield. The house looked too still. Porch light wasn't on. That was strange. Inside, the hallway was dim. No music playing. No dinner smells. Just the thud of her boots on the hardwood and the faint hum of the fridge. Nate. Nothing. She dropped her bag by the door, her eyes scanning the space automatically. Keys on the hook, his shoes by the mat. But no sign of him. That's when she saw it. The photo frame on the counter, the one with the picture of the 2 of them at Lake Oran last summer. Face down. Had always been upright. Always. A cold prickle crawled up her neck. Babe! She tried again. Louder. Still nothing. She walked slowly to the kitchen, half expecting him to jump out as a joke. But he wasn't the joking type. Not lately. Not since. Her phone buzzed again, this time from the floor where it had fallen halfway under the passenger seat. New message. Unknown number. You saw her, didn't you? Jenna's breath caught. She stared at the words, her thumb hovering, frozen. Another message popped up. Unknown number. Don't talk to anyone. Not yet. She read it twice. 3 times. Saw who? But her brain already knew. Lee. And suddenly, the way the kid at school stared at her that morning. It made a different kind of sense. Her stomach dropped. This wasn't over. Whatever it was, it had only just begun.